Hello, Class 9. A very good morning to all of you. I hope all my kids are doing fine and healthy at their home or at their place. So, Class 9, as you all know that we are doing the third chapter of political science, which is electoral politics, and in our yesterday's session we have learned about MLA and about parliament constituencies. Now, moving on for today's session, today we are going to discuss about reserve constituencies. What are reserve constituencies and voter lists? Okay, so now let's begin with the session. So class, our constitution entitles every citizen to elect his or her representatives and to be elected as a representative. So class, as we all know now, that our constitution has given us enough freedom to select our representatives or can be elected as a representative. Either we choose our own representatives by giving the vote, or we became the candidate and become the choice of the people. Now the constitution makers, however, were worried that in an open electoral competition, certain weaker sections may not be a good chance to get elected to the Lok Sabha. So class, now the framers of the constitutions were a bit worried. They were worried that in India we have a weaker section also, and these people may not get a chance to get elected in the Lok Sabha. Maybe because they belong to the weaker section, they might not get a chance or a fair chance to be get elected in the Lok Sabha and the state legislative assembly, so they might not get the chance to be get elected in the elections. Now they may not have the required resources, since because they don't have the resources, they don't have money, they don't have the proper education, or you can say they don't have a proper contacts so that they can win the competitions or election against the other person. Now, those who are influential and resourceful may prove them from winning. So now class, on the another hand, if we see those people who have lots of money, who are very influential, they can easily win. For them, winning is not a difficult, but winning for a weaker section person might be difficult because they don't have resources, they are not very well education. So that if that happens, our parliament and assemblies would be deprived of the vote of a significant section of our population. If this happens, then we can say that the deprived section, or you can say the economically weaker section, may not be able to vote, and proper elections cannot be conducted in a way, because we know that in democracy elections are conducted in a free and fair manner. So if one section of the society is not being able to vote, so there won't be any benefits for conducting the election, and thus it would make our country as less democracy, because we are missing a significant section of our society, of our population, that is the economically weaker section. So our makers of the constitution thought of a special system of reserve constituencies for the weaker section. So now class, our framers of the constitution were very intelligent people, and they wanted that every person in our country should get equal participation in making the government. So they decided to reserve some constituencies for the weaker section, so that they can also give vote and can elect the government. Some constituencies are reserved for these people who belonging to scheduled caste, which is known as SC, or scheduled tribes known as ST. So for reserving, so the makers of our constitution reserve certain constituencies for the scheduled caste people and the scheduled tribe people. In a scheduled caste reserve constituency, only someone who belongs to scheduled caste can stand for election. So class, now talking about the reserve constituencies, we are talking about the scheduled caste reserve constituency, and it means a person belonging to the scheduled caste only, he or she can take part in the election, and he or she can stand for the election who is belonging to the this particular caste. And similarly with the scheduled tribe also, Here they have reserved a constituency. Only someone who belongs to the scheduled caste can stand for the election and scheduled tribe. Similarly, on those belonging to the scheduled tribes, so similarly was the case with the scheduled tribes also. People who are belonging to scheduled tribes can take part or can take a stand in the elections if they are belonging to the same tribe. Now class, scheduled tribe form constituency reserves, and there in the Lok Sabha, if we say that 84 seats are reserved for the scheduled caste and 47 seats are reserved for the scheduled tribes. So if we talk about the Lok Sabha, there is a reservation of the seats, and the total seats that is reserved for the scheduled caste is 84, and the total seat that is reserved for the scheduled tribes is 47, and this is the data according to 26 January 2009. Now class, this number is proportion to their share in the total population. So they have kept according to the share, how much they constitute in the population. So according to their total number of population, these seats have been reserved for them. Thus, the reserved seats for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe do not take away the legitimate share of the other social group. So class, now what has happened, they have done the reservations for them so that they can also be elected and their rights cannot be snatched away by the influential people or by the big people or by any other social groups. Okay. Now, this system of reservation was extended later to other weaker sections at the district and local levels also. So class, the system of reservation for scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and other weaker sections were also being introduced to the district levels as well as the local levels. In many states, seats in rural and the urban municipalities and corporations, local bodies are now reserved for other backward classes, that is called as OBC as well. So class, if we talk about one more reservation, one more weaker section, that is OBC, which we call as other backward classes. So seats for them in the rural, that in rural we have a Panchayati Raj system. Seats for them in the Panchayati Raj system in rural as well as in urban municipalities and corporation local bodies were also being reserved for them. So we have a reservation of SC, ST and OBC and other economical weaker section. However, the proportion of the seats reserved varies from one state to another. So now the number of seats varies from one state to another. It might be 100 or 84 in one state. It might be 35 in the another state. So there is a variation in the proportion of the seats that is reserved for them. Similarly, 1/3 of the seats are reserved in rural and urban local bodies for women candidates. So class, apart from the weaker section of the society, our framers of the constitution has given reservation for the women itself, and that is the 1/3 of the women candidates of the bodies are being reserved for the women. So among the total seats, we have a reservation for 1/3 of the women candidates who are contesting the election in the Lok Sabha as well as your Vidhan Sabha election. So this is about the reserved constituencies where we have reservation for economically weaker section as well as for the women's. Now going for the next topic, that is voters list. So now we are going to discuss what is there in voter list. Once the constituencies are declared, the next step is to decide who can vote and who cannot. So now once they have decided about the constituency, which area is belonging to where, now the next step we are going to do is to see who can vote and who cannot. And this decision can be left to anyone till the last day. So this decision is specially meant by the government, and no one can decide that who will vote and who will not till the last date of the elections. In a democratic election, the list of those who are eligible to vote is prepared much before the election and given to everyone. So class, if we talk about the elections in India, there comes a list in which all the people who can vote comes before the elections, and they have to do the signature so that they can vote for the election, and this list is shown to everyone who is above 18 and who can vote. And furthermore, this is done in a democratic countries like us, and a list is prepared and shown to everyone, and it is also given to everyone also, and this is an official list which is called the electoral roll and is commonly known as the voter list. So class, what is happening, a list is being prepared and it is being given to every candidate or every person of a country whose name is there in the voter list, and this list is commonly known as voters list or as electoral list. Okay, so we have the another name. A voter list is electoral roll, which we commonly call as the voters list. Now class, this is an important step, for it is linked to the first condition of a democratic election. So class, this is a very important step to prepare a voter list, because without preparing a voter list we can't conduct the election, as it gives a equal opportunity to choose representative, and this opportunity is given to everyone irrespective of what caste, color, creed, gender they are belonging, as we have also learned that one vote, one equal value. So everyone in our country has a right to vote, and they vote through the universal adult franchises, which mean any citizen of a country who is above 18 years old can vote irrespective of their caste, color, creed and gender. Okay, and no one should be denied the right to vote. So this right is given to every citizen of our country, and no one should be denied his or her right to vote their candidate or to elect their representatives. Now different parties, different citizens from one another, maybe there might be difference in the citizens also. One may be rich, another may be poor, some may be educated, some may not be educated, so some kind of difference can be seen, but at the end of the day we all are humans, and we all need our views and ideas to elect the government, to form the government, to make the policies, to run the country in a better way. So that is why we should give everyone an equal opportunity, so that they can make the decision, and it should also affect them also. So the policies that is being made is made for the people of the countries, and everyone should be given a fair chance, whether he is educated or not, whether he is literate or not, as different people have different ideologies, and we should follow everyone ideologies, we should believe in everyone ideologies. So this is one of the most important step of democracy, giving everyone the equal amount of value and respect. In our country, all the citizens aged 18 years and above can vote in elections. So class, anyone who is 18 years or above 18 years can vote in the election. Every citizen has the right to vote regardless of his caste, color, creed, gender. So everyone who is in a country above 18 years or 18 years of age can vote irrespective of their caste, color, creed and gender. So some criminals and other persons with unsound mind can be denied the right to vote. So class, sometimes what happens, there are criminals and there are unsounded mind, those people who are not mentally stable, they are called as unsounded mind, and they can be denied from this right called vote, because it might be not safe for the people who is there. But this is done in the rare situations only. It is not done with every criminal. It is generally done with a very rare situation, and it is the responsibility of the government to get the names of all eligible voters put on the voters list. So class, now it is the responsibility of the government also to put the name of all the people who are eligible to vote in a proper voter list. A new person attain voting age, names are added to the voter list. So class, since new people are also getting the age of 18, so they also need to be added in the voter list. And furthermore class, those who move out of a place or those who are dead are deleted. So class, what happens, certain people go out for another countries for studying, for getting job, and there are people who died because of any reason. So these names should be deleted from the list, and those people who got the age of 18 years should be added in the voter list. A complete revision of this list takes place every 5 years. So class, after every 5 years we have elections, and new list is being made of different people who live in India, their age, and some of them who are dead or who have migrated to abroad, their names got deleted. Now this is done in every 5 years, and it's done to ensure that equal amount of people should participate. And class, it is also done in the last few years. If we talk in the last few years, a new system of election photo ID card, which means as EPIC, has been introduced. So now class, with the advancement in the technology, we are also advancing in the elections. So now one new system that has been introduced in our election system is the election photo identity card, that is called as EPIC, and it has been introduced, in which your photo will also be there, your entire biodata or information will be there itself, and the government has tried to give the ID card to every person on the voter list. So now the government tries their best to give this voter ID card to every person who is there in the voter list. The voters are required to carry this card when they go out to the vote. So class, now this ID card has been issued by the government to all the people of voter list. Now it is the responsibility as well as the duty of the citizen, or you can say the voter person, to carry his or her ID card, or you can say this this ID card when he or she is going out to give the vote, so that no one can vote for someone else, so that no one can fake their IDs. So it is the responsibility of the citizens to show their voter ID card when they are going to vote for the elections. But the card is not yet compulsory for voting. So this is not a compulsory card for the voting. For voting, the voters can show many other identity proofs like the ration card or the driving license. So this ID card has been introduced by the government, but if somebody forgot his ID card, he or she can show their another identity proof that yes, this is their name and this is about their real identity, like their ration card or the driving license. In these both the ID cards, they have the proper information which is given. Okay, so class, please watch the video, read till page number 41, submit the work on time. Thank you.